No, that look, talking about pet hates, give me some pet hates, because that, I don't know whether it's like that with your teenagers, but they're never off their phone, but they don't actually use it for what it's for. Like, I had an Amazon delivery a couple of weeks ago. Granted, I was in the pub, but had an Amazon delivery, and you know when they message you because it's high value. I don't know, actually, it wasn't that. They just messaged me, it needed a number or something like that. So I'm ringing both of my daughters, and I'm trying to just get in contact with them to say, can you get the door? Can you get the door? Because they won't leave it. They're not going to leave it in the porch. You've got to answer the door. Knowing both of them are at home. Ring, ring, never stop, never stop, never stop, never stop. Can't get in contact with them. Both in the house. Get home and say, like, were you in the house half an hour ago? Yeah. Why don't you answer your phone? I didn't see it. Here's a concept. Why have you got it on mute? And why have you got a bloody phone if people can't get in contact with you? That's one of my pet hates, and it's not just for family members, it's for everybody. Like, what is the point in having a phone and just using it for bloody Facebook and TikTok? The whole point of it is to communicate with people. Oh, I don't know. Give me some pet hates. Cannot stand how the missus stacks the dishwasher. Bowels on top of other bits, meaning I have to empty and restack the thing, says Hugh. Oh, I love that, Hugh. I actually I love the way people can't stack a dishwasher, because you know what? Sometimes I'll be, watching a movie and you can hear the dishwasher if it's not done properly from upstairs. And, you can tell somebody hasn't stacked it properly because when it starts whirring around, somebody has put a bowl up against a cup, and as it's washing, you can hear it knocking against it. That's a great thing at 11 o'clock at night when it's cold and you've just got settled into bed, and then you got to go downstairs and sort that. I also love people who put their plate in the dishwasher and leave half their fucking meal on it. Absolutely love that. It's like when you put your plate in a dishwasher with food on it, there's some magic dust in there that gets rid of all the food. Yeah, that's a cracker, that is. Rinse your bloody food off before you put it in. You know what some certain family members said to me? That's the dishwasher's job. No, it's not. That's what breaks the dishwasher. It cannot dissolve bread and bones. James has got a pet hate. He says, I can't stand the increasing amount of people that have phone calls in public and on transport on speakerphone. I don't give a fuck about your call, says James. Mate, I went on a train to London a couple of years ago, and this guy, it was quite a packed train by the time it hit Banbury, and didn't actually hit Banbury, but you know what I mean. It pulled into Banbury. It gets quite busy then because it's a commuter area for London. And he was sat there with people all around him stood up, and he's having a chat about his building project. And he's getting quite angry with this other person. I mean, I found it quite interesting to listen to, but I did think most people are going to be very irritated by this. I was quite interested by it because I was bored, but you wouldn't have said anything to him because he was a big bloke and it wasn't fat. But yeah, I get what you mean. Teabags in the sink is a goated anecdote, says Wan. Oh yeah, you can't beat the teabags in the sink. Zach says, when you're at a store and two people catch up in the doorway blocking anybody from going in or out, how people are so oblivious. Mate, this is a good one. It happens when I take Seb to school quite a lot. There is quite you're on a busy road anyway, and then there's a pathway about that wide, and the amount of people you can see that you're going to be fine, and then the person in front of you, someone's coming out, and it's like, oh, I'm trying to think of it wouldn't be Sharon. Who's called Sharon these days? I nearly went, oh, Shazza. It'll be, oh, Catherine, how are you doing? And how's Jonty or whatever like that? And they literally stop. And you become part of their conversation. Well, I don't, because I'll say something. I'll say, can you move, please? But yeah, it's annoying. Old people taking too long at the self-checkout, says T-Potion. I just think generally old people get slower at everything. I mean, have you ever been stuck behind an old person driving? Like, they make driving dangerous the other way. Like, you shouldn't be speeding. It's ridiculously dangerous. You could kill a cat or a person. But slow driving is dangerous as well. My pet hate is the Glazers running United into the ground over the last 20 years, says Manny. Fair point. And working in retail, says James Campion, my biggest issue is people not saying hello back to me. They just start spewing their order to me after I say hello, and I hate it, says James. Yeah, manners cost nothing. Rudolph the Red says, pet hate the it's okay my dog's friendly crew just because they can't be asked to train them and have idea how they're doing, says Rudolph the Red. Dog people. I've got a family member who's like this. You go on a walk with them and they don't put their dog on leads. They'll just walk around because their dog's friendly. And I'm like, that's just not how it works. That's not how it works at all. Some people are terrified of dogs. So even if your dog is friendly, they'll be shitting themselves when your dog runs up to it for a stroke. They'll have a stroke. And two, doesn't matter how friendly your dog is, another dog on a lead might be a nasty shit and then your dog gets bit. So I completely agree with you on that. Serious point. But some people are just so confident in their dog's good behaviour that they let it walk around off a lead. But there are two factors there that they're not considering. One, it goes up to a nasty dog and gets bit. And two, it goes up to somebody who hates dogs. When you're on the phone trying to hear what the other person is saying while someone else next to you is talking to you over them, so you end up hearing neither of them, says pre-order bonus. Shopping trolleys left in the middle of a car park, says T-Potion. Some people are just bloody lazy, mate. And anyway, yeah, I'm driving along and I can see this guy in this not particularly nice area of Birmingham, but that doesn't really matter because it shouldn't happen anywhere. And he's eating his Greggs and he's got a bag and he's obviously ate most of it. So he puts his sausage roll into the bag and as he's walking, doesn't even break stride, just drops the bag. Just drops the plastic bag in the middle of the pavement and keeps walking. And I said to myself, and I didn't actually speak because in my head, I had no one else was in the car. And I literally went in my head, I can't speak. I can't speak. And I didn't speak. My head was going, I can't speak. I couldn't believe it. Just dropped it in the middle of the pavement and kept walking. And as I got like level with him and looked at him, I was like, there was just pure venom for that person. I'm not saying I wanted him to have a heart attack or anything like that, but I just thought your contribution to this planet is just, we'd be better. I don't want to say it, but I'm thinking, you know what I'm thinking? I'm just like, how can people like you exist? Oh yeah, don't get me started on dog shit left on the pavement and not picked up. Took Seb to school the other week and there was a big procession of it all the way up the bloody path. You know what I think that is though? I think that's parents who get teenagers to take the dog a walk and they don't really want to do it. And they walk around listening to their AirPods on their phone with the dog and don't even notice it does a shit. I don't think many adults would do it. And my pet hate is people calling 100+ pound dogs pit bulls. Pit bulls should only be 30 to 50 pounds, says Danny on the gas. There you go. Waitist. That's one of my pet hates. Every bloody charity thing I ever got asked to, it was always be a manager. And I'd always say, can I play? Oh, we want you to be the manager. And I'm like, the fun bit is playing. OTG says, I smoke cigarettes, but I hate people who throw cigarette trash on the ground. Like, how hard is it to stick it in the trash? Just put it out and throw it away. You get spot fines in the UK for that. They're actually quite strict on that. You throw a cigarette on the floor, you will get a bloody fine if there's someone there to give it you. They'll let you dog shit though. And Rudolph the Red says, pet hate when people leave their dog shit bag hanging in a tree. Why do they do that? It's like having a condom on and then halfway through taking it off. What was the point? Like, you're halfway there. You're John Bon Jovi. My pet hate is when a dog licks their crown jewels. It's grim, says Slow Blandy. I actually think it'd be quite interesting. I mean, it's not top of my wish list, but save a lot of arguments if you could do it yourself. You know what? Here's a car-related pet hate. Absolutely hate this. There is a car park in Stratford. Free kick's just gone wide. There is a car park in Stratford, which is where William Shakespeare was born. And unless you go in there in a Nissan Micra. Oh, it's a great save by Alison again. Anyway, this car park in Stratford, unless you go there in a Nissan Micra, you can't park it. So if you've got like a Range Rover or you just can't park it. And that's one of my pet hates. How many car parks in the UK are actually, they don't have big enough spaces to park in? My pet hate mark is people not indicating on roundabouts. Oh God, it really annoys me. You know when you're waiting at a roundabout and you see a car and you think, God, what a save again. Lewis says, my pet hate is meaningless but expected small talk. Yes, Lewis, I agree. And Johnny says, my pet hate when people suddenly stop on a crowded pathway and people standing middle of the aisle chatting at Tesco. Yes, selfish people.